Hi, Bart with the Bicycle Rider YouTube, and today we're going to be looking at the Specialized Sirrus 3.0. And this is a bike that a lot of people have requested we did a video on, but we wanted to make sure we took this bike and actually rode this bike for the last few weeks and put it through its paces so we can, talk about actually how this bike rode, how this bike made us feel, and how this bike performed. And I have to say that in 2020, Specialized has nailed it with this new Sirrus. The new frame geometry has really, proven itself to be tried true performer. Seems like this bike has a nice long top tube on it, and that does, when you're looking at a fitness bike or a city bike, something that you need to get across town fast, it lets your lungs breathe. So the Sirrus 3.0 here is the elevated version of the tried and true Sirrus 1.0. It's a little bit higher than the 2.0. You're getting a 3.0, and you do get a Fact 9 carbon fork. So you get an ultralight aluminum A1 frame mated with this beautiful Fact carbon fork. And this Fact 9 carbon fork reduces the weight of this bike by almost 3 pounds. So they took the already light platform of the Sirrus, took about 3 pounds out of it, and this is an ultralight, ultra capable, and get a little bit of compliance out of this fork too. So for less than $1,000, I think this bike is priced at like $875. You get a lot of bike for the money and a lot of performance for the money. The Sirrus is a fitness geometry style bike. This one is in a size extra small. We are just coming out of the midst of the coronavirus epidemic. Things are starting to open back up. And during the virus, there was a lot of bikes that got sold. And, the Sirrus being such a good value for the dollar was one of those bikes that really, a lot of them sold out all over the country. So here in Biloxi, we were lucky to get our hands on a couple of these Sirrus 3.0s with the elevated carbon fork. And it does really make this bike perform fantastic. Here in Biloxi, Mississippi, we have a lot of mixed surface roads, and it seems like this carbon fork really does mitigate that vibration coming from the roads very, very well. Another really nice thing that this bike has is a hydraulic disc brake system that works very, very well. It's Shimano hydraulic brakes, actually Tektro hydraulic brakes, and the Tektro brakes really seem to perform very well. I mean, just the overall feel of these levers feel very good, but what I love is the modulation of this bike. Sometimes cruising through the city, you don't always want to be full brake or no brake, and this lets you ease into the brake. I find when I'm coming down the bridge and there's a lot of pedestrians in the sidewalk, I'm able to ease into the stopping power of this brake instead of all or nothing. So, you do get a lot of modulation out of these Tektro brakes. They work really well, even on the long downhills. The fluted disc brakes here really disperse a lot of heat. So it's not a brake system that can handle the heat. Seems like these disperse the heat very well and keep the brakes very positive. So, the braking system on this bike is superior. To go along with the braking is the shifting. And this has got the R9 micro shift system from Shimano, and it is very positive. The clicks feel very intuitive. You can actually hear them. There's a ball bearing inside, and everything just feels very smooth, very positive. Other than the sound of it, they actually shift gears really, really good. I like riding really fast through town, and this bike lets me shift gears really quick out of a corner, try to shuck the guys that are coming up on my tail. And this bike really does it well. I can hit 1 gear, 2 gear, 3 gear, usually get a gap, and I'm gone. This bike will let you fly. It also has an integrated reflectivity into the paint job. So you have a Specialized logo here and some really neat colors underneath it, some accent colors. And it all reflects at night. So this bike also has reflective sidewalls. And so at night you can really see this bike in traffic very well. I've had people stop and tell me, thank you for having a bike with lights. And really, the bike lights itself up pretty well. So, all in all, for $875, you are really getting a performance machine that can handle multiple situations like you would find in a city or urban ride. And you know, I just have to say that, you know, if you do like our content here on The Bicycle Rider, please subscribe. It doesn't cost you anything and it helps YouTube rank us. Another thing we like to do on The Bicycle Rider is weigh these bikes. So here you'll be able to see what the real life weight of this bike is. And you know, that is important, when, especially when you're paying a little bit of extra money for a carbon fork. We want you to know just what this bike is going to weigh in at, you know, with our scale. So I am holding this into my hand, so it's not exactly pinpoint accurate, but I am looking right now at just 24.5, so you know, just over 24 pounds, and that is fantastic for a bike that you can cruise or climb on. And when I say that, it's because it has a nice wide gear range in it. You got double chain ring up front and 9 gears in the back, and you can actually have some pretty big jumps in between the high and the low range on this bike. So just know, if you live in a very hilly terrain type of climate, that this bike climbs really good. If you live like we do here in the South and you need a lot of speed going down the beach, you know, this bike does that well too. Has a bridge saddle, Specialized bridge saddle, and some really nice touch points on it the Specialized puts on with their body geometry, like the grips. So the bike feels good, the bike rides good, the bike is very well priced, it's got some nice access rims on it. So in the 3.0, you do get elevated performance. Now I'm going to say it's worth every dollar. You know, the 1.0 comes in about $500, the 2.0 comes about $600, and now the 3.0, you know, comes in at $874. So there is a little bit of a price increase, but you know, if performance is something that turns you on, spend a little bit extra money, get the 3.0, because it's really awesome. Thank you.